Eagles!
What is up, everybody? We are back. Some of the Drunk on Broad crew is unable to join us tonight, but we got the best possible replacement we could find. My buddy from all walks of life. We got Chip for the Birds from the AAT everything.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's Wednesday. It's Dallas week. We're a playoff team, and go Birds.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can just jump right into the Eagle stuff. Like it for me, I went back. So while I was quarantined in this, seven
in this here room,
in this 7x6 room here, I had a lot of time to go back and look and listen to some of our old episodes while I was doing the compilation best of, and the one in particular that stuck out was the one that we did where we previewed the season. And talked a lot about going into that season as the, looking at it through different eyeballs, right? Looking at it as what do we have to gain for the seasons ahead. And I'll be the first person to admit, right? I was sitting here saying 6 wins, see incremental improvement week to week, but the expectations have far been exceeded.
Agreed.
We're essentially playing with house money at this point because no one saw this team with the amount of wins that they have. No one saw this team as a playoff team. So in my mind, house money, let it ride.
Yeah, I mean, I had this team at 7-10, which again, an improvement from 4 wins last season. But I had this team at 7-10, and here they are with 9 wins, potentially 10, depending on how they play against Dallas with our backups and their backups, and no one wanting to play too many cards on the table. And we said on ours, look, at this point, we just want to see improvement. We want to see development because the entire Doug Peterson regime, there was 0 player development. 0. And you see that clearly obvious with Russell Douglas, who is now a Pro Bowl alternate.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's not an alternate. He's on the Pro Bowl, right?
Listen,
I think he's an alternate. But there's never any player development. That's a problem.
At the very least, he has shown monumental improvement over anything that he did while he was on this roster.
And I like the guy. I thought Russell Douglas was a decent enough corner that he could have made his way, but he never improved week to week. So this season for us was all about improvement and finding some answers, specifically at the quarterback position. And there are people who want to push their agenda that are still going to say that Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback next year. Those people are dumb.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you've got the opportunity to sit here and say from week to week, very early on in the season, when they were 2-5 and they were trying to throw the ball all over the field.
That wasn't it.
But I look at that and, never did I ever think at 2-5 that we'd be sitting here with a week to go and already have clinched a playoff berth. But what I also saw was Nick Sirianni be able to adjust midstream and be able to say, where are my strengths? What do I got that's good? Identifying what's going on, Adam. Identifying the best part of what you have, which is that offensive line. And I mean, not for nothing, but shout out to Jeff Stoutland for just year after year after year, continuing to develop talent and keep that the strength. And the fact that they were able to pivot, rely on their strength, to me, that's monumental growth.
So on October 27th, which we had played 7 games, we were 2-5.
Correct.
I wrote an article for AAT Sports that said the kids can't coach. Right?
Okay.
Wrote an article that said the kids can't coach. And I said, because everybody that was saying, well, fire him. I said, that's no, we're not firing anybody. No. It's his first season. This isn't an Urban Meyer situation. He's not committing egregious acts of just wrongness.
No, not at all.
But everyone was saying things like, well, Andy Reid's first season was similar to this. Okay. And he finished 5-11, but he was coming from the Holmgren family tree. Sean McVay was young when he was hired. Okay, but he was also given a stud lineup and hired senior assistant coaches.
Right.
Guys like, Wade Phillips and John Fossil. Then, it's early. They'll still turn around. And maybe they will. I wrote, maybe they will. But things were going to happen. It was week 7. What needed to happen is they had to get away from having Jalen Hurts throw the ball 35 to 40 times a game. That's not his game. His strength was never going to be the passing game. And the strength of our offense with guys like Jalen Reagor and J-Jaw was never the passing game.
No. And I think, listen, like I look at, there was a play that I saw in the middle of this Washington game where the pocket starts to collapse. And early on in the season, I would see that you had he would immediately tuck the ball and run, right? And now you saw him kind of scan the pocket, right? He stayed in the pocket on this play against Washington, goes through his reads and is able to, I think the play he hit was the Goddard pass on the sideline where he kind of falls into the table, right? But you see him go through those reads. Earlier on in the season, he wasn't making that play. So,
and why? Like because without establishing a run game,
right,
the defense has the ability to blitz 5, 6, 7 guys, and the quarterback is forced to run for his life. The idea of a play action pass wasn't a realistic threat. It's something that Doug Peterson never learned and refused to learn.
Yeah.
The play action pass doesn't work as a legitimate threat if you refuse to run the ball. So we here in Philadelphia, we bullied Nick Sirianni into establishing a run game. And for the first time, here we are being right. And yeah, I know he's going to talk about flowers and he's going to talk about, planting soil. He's going to talk about those great. And that's great.
Hey, listen,
but the fans did it.
They're 7-2 since talking about turning the locker room into a greenhouse. I hate it. And listen, for everybody that wants to talk about the caliber of player and the caliber of quarterback that they've faced over the course of the last couple of weeks, right? So,
and just the schedule in general. We knew the second half of the schedule was easy. We knew the front half of the schedule was going to be hard.
But the people that are I just for me, I don't understand. The cliche. You're playing the teams that are in front of you. You're playing the teams that are on your schedule. They had no control over that. They had no control over the fact that Washington had to start Gilbert Grapes, and they had they're playing Gilbert Mike Glennon Grapes. And they're playing the likes of
please remember that there was a Steelers team that started off the season 11-0, and they were like, "Oh my God, this Steelers team, man, they're gonna do the whole thing." No, they weren't.
Yeah,
they played soft opponents in those first 11 weeks. Then they got in the meat of their schedule, and they flopped out the rest of the way.
Yeah, no.
You can only play who's put under your schedule,
right? And listen, the fact that the other thing that I really like about what's happening is the fact that they're able to get themselves they're able to get themselves out of holes that they are very willingly creating for themselves. But they're earlier on in the season when the games were a little tough, right? They maybe learned how to kind of navigate through the not having success in those games, that now they're able to kind of battle back. Yes, it's a different opponent. Yes, they're not you're not playing the Chargers. You're not playing the 49ers. You're not playing the Chiefs. You're not playing the Bucs, right? But you learned earlier on in the season against those really tough teams what didn't work. So now you have the opportunity to be able to say, we can turn it around. We can be resilient. We can rely on our strengths.
But again, the biggest thing, and I've been saying this now for a couple of days, the one thing that I'm still not ecstatic about is the idea that the coaches are being out-coached from Monday to Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, you're playing against teams that aren't very good. You're playing against teams like the Giants. You're playing against teams like, Washington, soon to be named something. The Washington Guardrails. As soon as you do that,
the Washington Zip Ties.
Right, that's it. Trademark. The Washington Zip Ties, who give you the ability to come back after spotting them 10, 15 points.
Right.
If you spot a Dallas or a Tampa Bay 17 points, 20 points, you are not making that ground up. You just aren't.
No, and I mean that.
So I'm excited. I'm excited that this coaching staff has the ability to react and make adjustments at halftime and say, okay, this is what this team is doing against us. This is how we fix it. I love that they can make that correction. What I don't like is the fact that they're putting themselves in that hole for the first for the first 2 quarters,
right?
Because they haven't really adequately prepared for the 6 days in the week.
Right. And maybe that's like, we know that one of the criticisms we had talked about earlier on in the season was that they had that young coaching staff, right? They didn't have any outside of Jeff Stoutland. They didn't have any established, the Jim Johnsons, the Jim Caldwells, the Wade Wilsons, the guys,
of the senior guys in the league who have seen it all,
who are just going to balance out, right? So maybe that is the evolution of this coaching staff, that they're learning those things. Yeah, it doesn't feel good in the moment, but it also says something that, like, we saw coaches here struggle before, which is that in-game transition, right? They're able to, the fact that, they're struggling in that beginning part of the game, but then in the middle of the game, they're able to kind of reset and go in a different direction, or just start to say, hey, listen, we're identifying, the passes in the flat. We're going to start using that as an asset. We're doing really well at running the ball. We're going to focus on the run.
But the other thing is that you have to remember that the games that we have not been close in, the games that we've gotten blown out, right? So we were not really close in the Tampa Bay game.
No.
We made it look closer. We got blown out in the Chiefs game, which we knew was going to happen.
Right.
We got slapped by the Raiders, a playoff team playing with high energy. The teams that have really put a beating on us are all playoff teams or playoff contenders.
Right.
Which just goes to the point of, you cannot let teams that are capable of playing a complete game start the game up ahead of us by 2 touchdowns, by 17 points. If that happens, there is no coming back from it. Right. So every team we play from here on out, including this weekend, is a playoff team.
Right. Now,
keep that in mind.
Revisionist history, right? If they play the way that they've played the last couple games,
I don't know if anyone can beat them.
Do you think the front end of the schedule plays out differently?
If they learn that they can run the ball in the first 7 games of the season?
If they didn't wait until game 8, if they had identified that earlier, does the front half of the schedule play out differently?
I don't know. I think you're looking at, you played the Panthers, not a very good team.
Right.
You beat the hell out of the Falcons, as to be expected. We've now played the Saints. I think that we are where we should have been.
Right.
And again, as we have said, we were all kind of saying, 7 wins, that'd be cool.
6, 7, I think I remember saying something like in that 6, 7-ish range. So you have far exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, at this point, Like my expectations are still the same. Like I love that we're in the dance, and now as a fan, like let's go for it.
Right.
Let's punch everybody in the mouth. Let's take down Tom Brady. You know
Right,
what I mean?
like-
I'm here for it.
Like I'm here, like I was about to say, like I feel like the kid in Christmas Story, right? Where there's a gift that was hidden behind the TV that nobody told me about, that like you didn't find out on the absolute end, and you're like, holy shit, this is the and listen, not for nothing, but like the Flyers suck right now. The Sixers are a poop show. And
the Flyers are not good.
Baseball anytime soon. Like,
baseball is not going to come back on time.
Right. So
this is it, y'all.
All that to be discussed on a future Drunk on the Fightins episode. That's a shame.
I'm here. I'm here for it.
But
you know, the Sixers right now are joy of split monitors. Shink. An answer to Chris's question. Yeah, the Sixers right now are losing to the Orlando Magic.
Right.
I don't even there's no follow-up there. The Sixers are an inconsistent team that needs someone that can handle the ball.
Yeah.
Or Tyrese Maxey to get aged by about 3 more years of experience.
Right. They need a point guard. And they need Tobias Harris to
be traded.
Up. Yeah. Yeah,
but that's a different show because the Eagles are in the playoffs. Right. The Eagles are in the playoffs.
So now how do you approach this game this weekend?
So, the one thing that I think is both genius and very convenient is the fact that we have 36 and a half players on the COVID list right now. I think it's like 12, but whatever. It's 36.
You're right. I think it's 12 or 13.
But here's the great thing. If they get cleared to play this weekend, cool.
Right.
But if they don't, they'll get cleared to play in the playoff game. And as per the NFL COVID protocols, they don't have to get tested for the next 90 days.
Correct.
You noticing a lot of big name players who already have spots in the playoffs, all of a sudden testing positive for COVID?
Yes, correct. Because what I found out was part of that they can, there is part of that test that can be voluntarily done. That they can
give this to me now. If I'm not playing this weekend, cool, fine, whatever.
Correct.
But again, I'll be good for the playoffs, and the entire playoffs, you can't pull me at any point.
Correct.
It's genius.
It's very smart.
Work smarter, not harder.
What do you do at quarterback this week?
You give it to the Minch.
You let the stash play and just.
You know what? You did this whole thing with growing flowers. I think the only person who can deal with the final game is the gardener.
I love it. I'm here for it all. Like
Jalen Hurts. The only way that this team is going to be successful in the playoffs is with Jalen Hurts at the helm because he gives you so many extra dimensions.
Yes.
So you got to get him to 100%. You got to get him rested. You got to get that ankle at 100% so that he has all of his tools available.
Yeah.
I don't think you play Dallas Goedert this weekend. I don't think. I mean, you give Jason Kelce a ceremonial first snap, and then you put his ass on the bench.
Yeah, you let him keep that streak alive, right? That, I just,
you get out of this game as healthy as possible because look, your subs are what they are. They are bottom of the barrel players, bottom of the barrel players, and I don't need to see 2 straight weeks of the starters going up against the Cowboys.
No, not at all. Okay, so in the last couple minutes, let's jump right into who. So, based on where they fall, who do you think they end up playing?
I think that they end up. I think they end up with Dallas.
Okay.
I would prefer that we end up against Tampa Bay.
So would I.
And here's the thing. I can't believe that I'm saying this, that I want Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, to go down to Tampa and play, but not for nothing. But between you and I, it's they seem like the of the teams that you could play, Dallas, Los Angeles, Tampa, they seem like the most vulnerable opponent.
Right. Tom Brady. You saw what happened when Tom Brady didn't have Evans, Godwin, and Antonio Brown. He looked lost out there.
Yes.
Oh, and Leonard Fournette. So
Right.
now, not having Godwin for the entire playoffs,
Right.
not having Antonio Brown ever again, I feel comfortable that we can stop a Mike Evans and we can slow down a Gronkowski.
Right, because you can
And Le'Veon Bell. Like, I feel okay about that.
yeah, like that. Like to me,
They struggled
I feel
against the Jets.
Yeah, that to me seems like of the teams that you could play, you know, that would be the team that would give you the best opportunity to win. Now, listen, you know, Chris brings up the Rams. You know, listen,
No.
Matt Stafford is giving away presents as intercept. He's giving away interceptions as presents.
But look at the entire package.
Right.
The Rams have an Odell Beckham who is now getting comfortable.
Right.
They still have a Cooper Kupp who no one in the NFL has been able to stop. And they're getting Cam Akers back this week.
Correct. Yeah.
I do not want to see the Rams.
No. And any defense that you're going to have to face some semblance of Aaron Donald, Von Miller,
Jalen Ramsey. No, thank you.
Like, no. I would prefer not to see the Rams. I think I listen, I don't want to I want to not have to play. I don't want to play Dallas at all. I can't.
I don't want to play Dallas. I mean, I'd be okay with playing the Cardinals if that somehow it shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
I think them losing some of their players has definitely hurt them. I think they are a vulnerable team and they've been inconsistent. And of course, then you have the storyline of Zach Ertz versus the Eagles. So unnecessarily, I don't want that because he'll go for 250. I want the Bucks.
Yeah. And I think the last time I saw I think it's like in like the 50 something percent, 55%, something like that, that if the weekend shakes out the way people think it does, that would be where that would be where it falls.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just to me,
Adam, I don't want Dallas. I think that is a team.
Mm-hmm.
Look, yes, we know that Dak is what Dak is, and I think Ezekiel Elliott is the second best running back on that team. But they have so many offensive weapons, even with losing Gallup, and their defense right now.
They have so many people on defense. I mean, listen, just between Diggs and Parsons, they have two cornerstone defensive players for the next decade. Like the fact that Micah Parsons is literally going to be running sideline to sideline for the next 10 years.
Micah Parsons is the defensive player of the year, not rookie. And I know Diggs has the interception numbers, but you can't make the defensive player of the year be a 1,000-yard allowed cornerback.
No, not at all.
I think TJ Watt has a better case for it.
And listen, and TJ Watt's playing like he's gonna, he's got the chance at breaking this.
If Watt breaks Strahan's record, then he's player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
If he doesn't, it's Parsons.
Yeah, I mean, like the revisionist history for that, like if you had hit on one of the wide receivers, he's there, and you had to trade nobody to get him, and I don't know, it just that
it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating,
and it's frustrating because the type of player that he is, Chip, there would have you could have ripped the Wentz right off the back of your number 11 jersey, slapped the Parsons right on the back.
I would have, except my number 11 has my name, the best player the Eagles have ever had wearing the number. Been a member of this team for 35 years.
I love it. I love it.
Chris's question is a very loaded one.
Is this the prediction for the Super Bowl?
Who do I think is going to play in it? Ready for it?
Go for it.
I believe that the Super Bowl will be the Titans versus the Rams.
Really? The
Rams have all the pieces.
The Rams are going to play at home.
The Rams have all the pieces, and the Titans are getting back Derrick Henry. They've already gotten to a point where they can earn the number 1 seed without him playing. If he
And they're
comes
bringing him
back, you can't beat him. Not in these cold months.
Listen, if I'm the thing that I always think about though with the Rams this year is it
comes down to quarterback play.
An immense amount of offensive weapons. I still can't trust Matt Stafford.
But remember, to win a Super Bowl, yes, it helps to have exceptional quarterback play, but it's not necessary.
Right, but there have been times where, and listen, I'm talking from personal experience because I had him on fantasy, and there were times where it literally, like, he disappeared, and he was giving away the ball 2-3 times a game. I just don't know in a crunch situation for a guy that has, up until this year, played in 0 meaningful games as a part of the Detroit Lions. There's a huge trust factor for me that I can't really get over. I don't know. I'm going to go. Listen, I think maybe a team like Arizona, who I think was hot at one point and kind of fell off a little bit. I think maybe if Kyler Murray can get right, I think they have some offensive weapons that they can kind of make a bit of a run. And listen, in the AFC, I'm going to go Chiefs until someone knocks them off.
Yeah.
Steve Spagnuolo built that defense around nothing. Like, he had next to no pieces because they put all of their financial capital on the offensive side of the field. And the way that he's kind of turned that thing around midstream, I don't know. So I'm gonna go. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go Packers Chiefs. I'm gonna go the All-State Super Bowl. The Mahomes.
There you go.
Or not All-State. The State Farm Super Bowl. And that's Mike's chiming in with the Chiefs and Pat. Yeah, I think it's going to be that's what I'm going to say. Chiefs Packers. But anything else you want to add before we?
Yeah, I was just sorry. I was distracted for the last 2 minutes because Antonio Brown released a statement from his attorney just now.
Oh, read it out. Here we go.
I can't. It is like 2 pages. It is like 2 pages. Basically, in summary, he had it well documented that his ankle was a flipping mess. The coach told him to get back in the game. He said he can't, and they cut him right there on the sideline. He is scheduled a surgery. The Bucs have been telling him to come back and get different doctors, and he's already getting surgery. He wants the surgery. He'll be back to 100 and looking forward to next season. Business will be booming.
Oh, but will it be booming in the Bay?
No, absolutely not. Because he just threw this team under the bus so very hard.
Yeah. Wow.
So Schefter has it. If you guys are interested on the Twitter, gotcha. I'll retweet it.
There you go.
So you can go check out my Twitter page. A quick read.
All right, Chip, final thoughts.
I don't care what happens this weekend, with the exception of get everybody out of there that matters healthy. If Tua Papalotu, our 47th Marlon Tualahabahabahudu, gets hurt, I really don't give a crap. If Jack stalls over, I don't care. If Kerryon Johnson cannot carry on, I don't care. I need the guys that matter to be ready in 2 weeks. And that was not pre-planned. I wrote that on the spot.
Listen, as far as final thoughts go, you're playing with house money.
Yeah, baby.
Like everybody that's out there that wants to be Debbie Downer about they didn't play anybody in the quarterback. They didn't play any quarterbacks. They didn't play. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
nobody cares, Sean.
Our sports world sucks right now. Like, enjoy this. This was a gift. We never expected this.
This is where you get to fan.
Right. This is where, like to go back to the Christmas analogy, right? You expected nothing and got a fucking iPad. Like, you got a huge gift that nobody thought was going to be happening this year. Enjoy it. Like, fan it up. That whole week, whoever they play, whether it's Tampa or the Rams,
be a fan
or whatever, like, enjoy it.
And then as long as we come out actually playing,
right,
and we don't phone it in for the play, let's go. I'm here for it.
Like, just enjoy it. Like, stop with all like the nonsense. I can't stand all like the negative fanboy stuff. Like, to me, it serves no purpose. Like, if I'm a fan of this team, I want to be a fan of this team. I'm going to go out and root for this team. And when the wheels fall off, and we do a season recap show and we talk about it. And then pretty soon I already saw Johnny putting out mock drafts. Sure, him and Tom are going to be doing their draft shows pretty soon. Like,
I'm not ready for mockery yet.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, I'm sure pretty soon we'll start talking about what to do with draft picks and all that stuff. But leave all that, like, put all that aside. Like, just be a fan. Just enjoy it.
Because this point last year, we were having a conversation about how they snuck in Nate Sudfeld. This is a different conversation. Let's enjoy it.
Right. That's it. Final thoughts. Listen, before we get out of here, if you haven't, go check out La Terrain Watches, the luxury US made timepieces that are anywhere. I think they're very affordable, very clean, very good looking. Use the DOB code to check out, help us out. And then shout out to our other sponsor, Team Clicks. They're sports inspired, team themed eyeglasswear with interchangeable parts, so you can have your Eagles stuff on Sunday, your Sixers stuff on Monday, your Flyers stuff on Tuesday. Go check them out. Go Birds, and see you when we see you. Peace out.